Jason&Jabari. Jason&Jabari.
Are live. What is going on, everybody? This is Jason from the Jason and Jabari Gaming, and today I have Truth Comics and AFO. We are going to be having a healthy, I repeat, healthy discussion on if we believe that 8 stars are coming to the game or not. So, if you guys want to chime in the comments, feel free, but please be respectful. These are our opinions. We are not stating this as fact and or law. So just be mindful of that. And then without further ado, gentlemen, what say you? Whoever wants to start off, go for it. Let's hear it. Do you guys believe that there will be 8 stars coming to the game sooner rather than later? Why?
Well, me being
Well,
a
I would.
measurement guy, let me just set one quick framework, which is I think we need to agree on what we mean by sooner rather than later, and that timeline, so we can really get into this mix.
Okay.
So, well, I heard you going. Did you have a thought on that off the bat, or what
Well,
do
I
we
wanted
want to
to.
set as what that means?
I wanted to let Jay Will set the time. This is his living room, right? This is where
Okay.
we are. I wanted to let Jay Will set the timeline of the framework of this question, right? And then
Okay.
we can duke it out
Okay.
once
All
Jay
right.
Will kind of tells you what he thinks is sooner or later.
Okay. All right. I'll build a little bit of foundation. I just wanted you two to cook because you normally both do. So I am under the belief that right now, current day, we have a healthy amount of rank 4 champions at the 7 star level. And the reason why I bring that up is because obviously the next level is rank 5 of 6. And historically speaking, when you get to the last few ranks, that means, the last 2 ranks, they tend to try to introduce the next star level, which is part of the hamster wheel, if you will, aspect of this game, right? Because they like to compare the two. They did it when 5 stars was the biggest thing, and they introduced 6 stars. They did it with 6 stars was the biggest thing at rank 4, and they introduced 7 star rank 1s because they're the same power level or the equivalent of a rank 3, 6 star or something of that nature. I believe somewhere around that ballpark. And of course, before that, it was 4 stars into 5 stars, so on and so forth. So you guys kind of get the gist of what I'm saying, which is why I believe this topic will become a little more prevalent sooner than later. Now, what does sooner than later mean to you? To me personally, it means within the span of the next 2 years, possibly. Maybe even like a year and a half. We're in the talks of Kabam actively talking about this. So
Okay.
I'm going to say a year and a half to 2 years sooner rather than later is my interpretation of that. However, again, whatever you guys feel or agree, disagree, go for it, gentlemen.
Start us off, AFO.
Okay, so I guess I have a hard time believing that 8 stars are on the way. I think that, without getting into too much, I think that the new game mode that came out is an indication of their ability to introduce something new without pushing the game forward. If anything, this pushes the game to the left or to the right, not forward as far as progressing champions. And then I just want to talk to you about a little list I'm building here. You'll catch the theme as I say the names, okay?
Okay.
Hulkling, Doctor Doom, Valkyrie, Kate Bishop, Absorbing Man, Hercules, and the list goes on, Scorpion, and many more champions that have been locked at the 6 star level. And in my opinion, whenever they go to the next star level, as time goes forward, the champs that get left 2 star levels behind, i.e. Quake, tend to be the champs that they're telling us, go ahead and move on from that champ. And so I think that the indicator of the next star level may be tied to some of these champs that we haven't seen as a 7 star yet. As time goes on, if you don't see Hulkling, Doctor Doom, Valkyrie, Kitty Pryde, Kate Bishop, Absorbing Man, etc., There's some other other really good ones too, like a Red Magneto, um, like Truth's favorite champ, Baron Zemo. Some other
Yeah.
champs that you just haven't seen. Your Nimrods. There's a lot of champs, Black Widow, Clairvoyant, that they have not released yet as 7 stars. And I think that maybe for me, I don't think we're as close because it seems like they're trying to spread to the left and to the right rather than move forward. And they have left a lot of iconic champs of MCOC behind as 6 stars to this point. So we could be within. I'd put it more at 2 years plus than 1 to 1.5 years. Definitely not 1 year. I don't think this time next year we'll be looking at an 8 star anything. That's my first thought.
Okay.
I think I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I think I also want to push back. And there's a couple reasons. So first things first, historically speaking, the new star level has been introduced at the second to last rank level of the previous star. So when 6 stars came out, they were compared to 5-star rank 4s. And when 7 stars came out, it was basically the same deal, right? Comparing to 6-star rank 4s
Mhm.
in that initial power level. And the reality from my side of what I'm looking at is I would be shocked if we don't see the first of the rank 5s in Banquet this year. That's the tone that's been set since the release of 7 stars, which,
Mhm.
just so we have some of that context, 7 stars came out in the middle of 2023. So 2 years ago.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right? The gap between 6 stars and 7 stars was almost 5 years. It was a little more than that. 6 stars came out
Mm.
in early 2018. 7 stars came out in the middle of 2023. But if we remember when we were in that 6-star game, it's not like you had a ton of rank 6 or rank 5s. And then 7 stars were introduced. 7 stars were budding in the game while we were still developing our 6-star rosters
Correct.
for a good period of time. And so, to the timeline, the thing that concerns me the most, I'd love to sit here and tell you I think it's 2 years. But looking at just history of how the game's been progressed and
I think you might have cut out Truth a little bit. I couldn't hear you past history. I'm not sure if
We might have lost him there for a second.
yeah, I think so. Might be experiencing technical difficulties, but he was definitely in the middle of cooking.
you guys hear me?
Okay, we can hear you
There he is.
now. Oh, you cut off for me personally when you were saying you would love to tell us um that
I'd love to agree with the 2 years.
2 years, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry, I don't nothing changed on my end. Don't know what happened. Yeah, I would love to sit back and say I think 2 years would be great, right? But if we look back in history at the release of the future star level while you're still developing your 7-star roster, I don't see how Kabam could stretch it 2 years, given that we're gonna start seeing rank 5s and the rate at which they've been rolling out 7 stars, which have been on an expedited lifespan. Right? They've been going faster.
Yep. You were such
If
a not
5s come out in December and we're looking at, remember, we just passed July. Guys are at 20 plus rank 4s.
true.
How do we in 1 year from now have 20 plus rank 5s and we're not having an 8-star conversation?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
I could see the beginnings of that. I think maybe you're at 2 years before they hit the game, but I don't even know if we'll make it that long. My other thought on that, just with history, which again, if we look at the past history, 6 stars came out at the beginning of 2018.
Okay.
7 stars came in the middle of 2023. So about 5.5 years. But in the same boat, that 6-star roster development took a long time.
Correct.
Now within 1.5 years of the release, we started getting rank 4s. 2.5 years, you're going to be at rank 5s. That means 3.5 years maximum, you're going to be at rank 6s. But let's just call it and say they do that. There's going to be, by the end of next year, something going on with, okay, Kabam, what are we doing here? As it pertains to 7-star champions and the future of the game. Therefore, this conversation must start taking place sooner than 1.5 to 2 years. I think we're on the narrow side of that. My one last statement I want to make is that another concern that ties to the expedition of the game is Kabam's never-ending desire to monetize. I don't see them slowing themselves down on rolling out materials and expanding rosters and growth by turning money away. I just don't see that in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's really good, Truth, and I agree with a lot of that. I think that we have seen the blueprint for how they can pump the brakes on the progression towards 8 stars while still making money. And while you were talking, I went ahead and finished my list. Hulkling, Doctor Doom, Valkyrie, Kitty Pryde, Kate Bishop, Absorbing Man, Nimrod, Stealth Spidey, Reg Magneto, Hercules, Archangel, Kingpin, Cassie Ling, Scorpion, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and probably the reason why I'm bringing up all those champions is because chase champions, prize champions at the end of a paywall has been the new way to encourage us to spend. We put that Human Torch at the top of the rank. We say spend all these units, you get a 7-star Human Torch. There's already the rumblings about 7-star Doctor Doom. You know, you only need 1 or 2 of these per event to rake in what you need. You don't need to drop all 5 or 6 of them per event. I think that if they wanted to really milk another 1.5 to 2 years of progression of this, obviously it would put them up against it at the end when they're at rank 6s, right? And if they didn't have anything to sell at that point. So the conversation could start. But if we're talking about when they'll talk about 8 stars versus when the first 8-star crystal or not shard, but the first fully formed 8-star crystal will be in the game, I don't see an 8-star crystal in the game in 2026 for me. To me, we're talking at least 2027. And I think before we see that, they are your favorite champion, that champion that was too overpowered to be a 7-star, as they get a little more desperate, as they get a little more hungry for that cash, for that engagement, that shiny, that shiny champion that you think is never coming is probably coming. That Hulkling, that Doctor Doom, something to incentivize you to go get that top milestone so that you have a 7-star rank 4 SIG 200 Absorbing Man before anyone else, right? Or whatever it is coming. And I think that is their strategy, their current strategy, to have multiple sales events, multiple spring cleaning type of events, Omega Days type of events, without ever talking about an 8-star. They have plenty of bullets in the chamber to pull that off, or at least to try it. And we as the community have shown that we're interested in those type of events, whether by sponsorship, whether by digging extra deep into the pocketbook. But we've rewarded these events, so I think there's no reason to see why it won't continue.
Truth, I'm gonna give you a rebuttal because AFO got a rebuttal, and then if you guys are finished, then I'll just say my little 2 cents compared to you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I agree with the year. I don't think there will be 8 stars next year. I don't think there will be released next year. I also don't think it would be terribly long into 2027 before we would see that again, given the pushed progression of the game.
Okay. Can I
don't see
ask
them
one
slowing
question before you continue? AFO, to be
Sure.
completely clear, I did state 1.5 to 2 years. 2027 technically is 2 years. You did say 2027, so for the record, are you in agreement with potential 8 stars within 2027 by your own logic or no?
Okay, so I guess I can say I'm in agreement, but I think the point in 2027 for me is extremely late banquet or cyber weekend type of part of the year 2027. So I'm
Okay.
thinking like if the game is even, obviously everyone says that the game is still around, but I'm thinking barely like the tip of 2027 into
Okay.
2028. I don't think it'll be like July 4th or spring clean, any of that early stuff. It'll be scraping the very end. They might tease it, but I don't think that we'll be able to even think about popping an 8-star crystal until the very like a Christmas gift type of thing, 2027.
Okay. I didn't want to
So,
put words in your
so
mouth.
it's 2.5 years from today.
Okay.
So I am sort of having my own stance a little bit, but I get what you're
two
saying.
and
Yeah.
two and a half. Okay. All right. Continue, Afro. I apologize. I just wanted to clarify.
No, that's all. That's all I had. That's all I had. Yeah, I don't. I think if we just went a hard 2 years from this July 4th, I don't think in July 4th in 2 years anyone will be opening any 8-stars.
Okay.
That's my kind of stance on it.
Okay. Truth, continue. I apologize.
Oh, no worries at all. No worries at all. I'm gonna take the under from AFO's timeline for sure. I think that we, again, looking at when things have been released. I mean, if he's right, he'll be right because they'll push into basically like early 28 based
Mhm.
on what we've seen historically, which has been either beginning of the year or middle of the year.
Okay.
But the way we're trending with rank sixes then in this math timeline coming at the end of next year, I think there has to be a conversation before then. When we look at how 7-stars came in, which were the middle of 23, reminder, the shard acquisition and announcement started in September of the previous year.
Mm,
So a solid 9 months ahead, which means in about a year and 3 months, the end of next year, I think we're gonna be seeing the conversation about 8-stars and, like, official Kabam communications on what that's gonna look
mm,
like. And to your list of champions, yeah, there's a lot of 6-stars coming, but guess what? There's an event every 2 months.
Yep. I was
There's gonna
about to
be a
say that.
champion event between now and Cyber Weekend.
Yeah.
There's gonna be Cyber Weekend. There's gonna be Banquet. There's gonna be the first part of next year. There's gonna be their Red and Dead, whatever else. There's gonna be whatever Heart of Fire type thing. There's gonna be
Mhm.
4th of July. Like,
hmm
every batch of these things that we're talking about, again, I see those champs being exhausted
Yeah.
by middle to late
Mhm.
next year.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Okay. Have you gentlemen spoken your piece? Because I don't want to interrupt. I love the conversation, by the way. I really do. But I don't
I
want to
think
stop you
we're
two from cooking.
roundtabling.
Okay.
No, I
Uh,
think we're good. I think we're roundtabling. We're
Yeah, we're
ready for
good.
the J Will's thoughts in
Yeah,
J
we're
Will's living
eager.
room, and we can
I'm
get into
extremely
it.
eager.
well,
I'm
Yeah,
okay.
extremely eager to hear
100%.
the J Will.
Well, I just think Truth literally jumped inside of my brain, stole most of my thoughts, and just like regurgitated. But in all seriousness, uh yes, I do believe there is absolute truth in what you're saying, Afo, as far as chase champions. But to counter that, which was also my counter, but again, Truth said it first, so let's give him all the credit. Um, I think they're burning through what 6 to 8 champions during these events. So, and they're doing like 3 to 4 chase champions a year now, and there's only so many chase champions you can get. But while doing that, to me, Kabam has only sped up. And I don't see any reason for them slowing down, which is the reason why I initially asked you guys to have this conversation with me, because I think me and Truth are on one accord when it comes to we have to be realistic in knowing that this is a business. They're going to do whatever benefits the company, right? It's not about us in my mind. It never was. We just consume their product. So as long as we're consuming it, it really doesn't matter how we feel about it, right? Like
Yep.
we can say what we want, but I mean this game has lasted so far the test of time for a reason, because we keep incentivizing them to keep going. One way or another, like it or dislike it, doesn't matter. We're here. And they have been
Mhm.
speeding up c- considerably. And normally well, historically what they did do with the 7 stars, which I believe that they will do with the 8 stars, is they'll say some sort of a Valiant esque crystal, if you will, and you have a potential chance to get an 8-star. I think they'll start off with a small pool, right? And then they'll do the comparison thing. But I do believe it's going to happen probably within the next 2 years. It might be towards the end of the year, it might be towards the middle. I don't really want to specify, but the point remains, the fact remains that I think we're going to be having that conversation sooner than some people realize, because people still, or maybe they do realize and they just don't want to say it out loud. But this is a hamster wheel game, guys, in my opinion, and history will absolutely repeat itself. So we are headed down that path. And I think it's going to be sooner than most people would like for it to be, which is, i.e., about 2 years or so. But I think that these conversations need to happen because that's where we're headed. But I could be very wrong. I don't know. Again, guys, you can agree or disagree with me in the comments section below. But historically speaking, the facts back that up, as Truth said. Again, because I'm gonna give him all the credit because he said it first, period. So that's just where my mindset is. I'm not saying I'm 100% right. I'm not saying I'm completely wrong. I think your points still stand, AFO, a million percent. I don't even think me or Truth are disagreeing with your points there. I just think maybe we have a slight difference in opinion when it comes to when we think they're going to roll out the 8 stars. But I think we can all agree that it's going to happen, right? We've all stated that we believe it will happen. Maybe we just don't believe on when it will happen, but we're all pretty much within the realm of thinking that this is going to happen within somewhere around the 2027, maybe early 2028 marker, I guess. But I don't want to put
Well, I have
words
a question.
right? Go ahead.
I have a question or a thought, in this realm.
Mhm.
So I guess my maybe my viewpoint is skewed a little bit by my concern about what the introduction of 8 stars will do to the game.
What do you
And
mean by that? Can you
this is
explain?
tangential to the conversation, but it's still worth chatting about, which is the hamster wheel aspect of MCOC and what the new star level does to those who are trying to progress, even at the middle to end game. So let's use someone like me as an example who has a decent number of rank 4s, a very decent number of rank 3s, likes to play Battlegrounds and high tier war, and has a good enough roster to do so, but is not, I have 7 rank 4s and I've matched some decks with 19, 20, 21 rank 4s. So that's just a relative, like where I am compared to the very far end, right?
Mhm.
When you get to 8 stars, there's a bit of a letdown or a little bit of a frustration of, especially if what happens with 8 stars is what happens with 7 stars, where when you played that 7 star for the first time, you said, "Whoa, I know it's supposed to be like a 6 star rank 4, but it feels really strong." Remember,
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys remember how stat focus and challenge rating made that 7 star rank 1 champion feel like, wait a minute.
Oh, bro, I was
And the
so
seven
mad.
star,
I was so angry
yeah,
because my rank
and
fours, I thought they were cooking until them all them 7 stars came out, and I felt
yeah,
so defeated within those moments. I remember I even made a video
yeah,
ranting about it, but yeah.
yeah. And the 7 star rank 2 felt, so much even more stronger than the 6 star rank 4. And then so now we're in a situation where the 7 star rank 4s are significantly stronger than the Ascent and the 6 stars. There's
Mhm.
only the top of that list I mentioned can even hang. There's 2 or 3, maybe 4 champions that we still feel like can hang. But for the most part, we don't grab that 6 star Ascended champion anymore. We don't grab the rank 2 anymore, and we grab the rank 3. And really, we're thinking, I want to rank 4 this champion, soon.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if that's the case, then when the 8 stars roll out, how do we avoid that feeling of, what, I don't want to do it again. I don't want to have to ride that roller coaster train again to get my champions from 8 star rank 1 to rank 2 to rank 3, et cetera, et cetera. And I think maybe some of my viewpoint is skewed by my hope that they'll try to save the game, or save some of the attrition that will happen inevitably when 8 stars come out. Some people are going to see the 8 stars and be like, you know what? I have 28 rank 4s, have 33 rank 4s. It's been a great ride. I don't want to do it again. I may be one of those players. Who knows? I don't know. I can't speak to how I feel when it happens, but maybe in my hope to not see that level of attrition, I put a long timeline on it. And I'm just wondering what you guys think. How 8 stars? I know there'll always be people to backfill when people leave, but the health of the game gets affected every time they introduce a new star level, and then the game kind of has to recoil and bounce back. And I think I have a major concern about, given how the speed of 7 stars have rolled out, I have a major concern about the 8 star introduction, rollout, monetization. I have concerns about what that will do to the game in general.
Valid concerns. Truth, do you wanna knock this one out of the park, or do you want me to say something first? It's up to you, brother.
Well, I will let you go. I want to hear your thoughts first, but I just want to say that in terms of the concern of those feelings, AFO, I'm right in line with you.
I
I'm
am
very
too.
concerned about what that transition looks like.
I think we're all in agreement with you stating that verbally. So
Yep.
yes, I am right 100% with you, and I'm gonna try to one up you here, but not really. I'll do you one better, right? Is the better terminology. What is that gonna do to the monetization of 8 stars? Because when you hit a new progression level, historically speaking, they come out with those deals for that new progression level champion, and we're already at $100 and making that normalized. Guys, $100 is a lot of money. $100 is a lot of money. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I understand people call me J Well, all that nonsense. At the end of the day, $100 is a lot of money, right? We could be utilizing that somewhere else. What are 8 stars going to look like when they try to monetize them, right? Because again, we're only going up in prices, right? So that concerns me as well, right in line with the what is this feeling that everyone's going to be feeling like I just grinded 10 years of my life and it feels like it's all for naught, because that's what it sounds like you're saying, because we got to start over. We got to start over if we want to stay at the highest chase. Now we had to start all the way over, and it feels bad. It feels
Yeah.
terrible. And that's why a lot of people give up, or a lot of people say, you know what? I think it's time that I take a step back, right? Because this isn't it for me. So now I have to
Yeah.
reassess how I'm going to move forward, or if I'm going to move forward. Because we all feel that, like, I just did all of this for what? Just to start over and do it again from scratch. Nobody really, if we're being honest, nobody likes that feeling of starting over. Nobody. And it feels terrible.
No.
But Kabam is absolutely going to make us do it again. Why? Because it's not about us. It's not about saving the game in their eyes. It's about profit. And honestly, if I'm being brutally honest, Kabam is quite greedy. They are quite greedy. They do not need to do a lot of the things that they do, but they do it because they believe that we're going to consume it. And honestly, we've been proving them right. You know, right, wrong, or different, it's just true. I'm just spitting facts in my opinion. But hey, again, if you guys disagree with us in the comments below, just please leave a respectful comment as to why you do or do not disagree. But go ahead, Truth. So those are my thoughts.
No, I mean that kind of sums a lot of it up, if we're being honest. I mean, there's the double side of this, right? The side of me that's with AFO that's like, listen, I feel exactly what you're talking about. So optimistically, right? The me who plead with Kabam, I don't want anything from this boycott. I don't want packages of compensation. I want you to actually work with and listen to your community to make this a better game. That's what I want from them. That part of me that appeals to them, that they would hopefully do that kind of thing, is right there with you. I understand you're going to progress this game and you want to keep moving. I hope that they learn from what's happened in the past. I hope they learn from what's happened with 7 stars and people that walked away. I hope they learn and even feign care for the people that will leave this game when that happens. But the realist in me just has to take a step back and go, ultimately, at the end of the day, look at how they move now. And look at the way they approach engaging with the community and what gets rolled out and the things that they do. And I know there are people in the organization that care. But at the end of the day, this money-making machine will not slow itself down. And there are going to be people in those back rooms, AFO, who say one of the things that you did, which is, guess what? Every person we lose, we will replace. And you know what? Those that we can't replace, we'll figure out these many more ways to monetize and try to strong arm engagement to get our numbers where we want them to be for our shareholders. And that's just the
Mm.
cold hard reality of the conversation. I'm hoping that with things like Vancouver, with actually applying some humanity both ways to Kabam, right? To like feed some humanity into them to stop them from their own natural demise and the pits that they're going to fall into. I'm still hopeful and optimistic that we can do that. That's why I'm going to Vancouver. Other than just meeting my friends I play the game with, I actually want to go shake hands with people who work at Kabam and look people in their eye and see what kind of, how high up the corporate ladder we can get in terms of engaging them to say, look, man, you've got something that you can continue to do something great with, even though it's mega buggy trash a lot of the time. We as a community, there are people here who want to help you make it better. Do I think that it's going to actually do anything? I'm doubtful. I'm hopeful that I get proved wrong. That's where I'm at in my head and my heart.
Would it not be a sight for sore eyes to have some guys such as yourselves who are super passionate about the player base and the game sit down at a panel of some sort and or just in private to have those conversations, to ask the tough questions, to have them on the record answer those questions? Would that not be something that people would be interested in, to really ask some hard questions respectfully and see what they how they respond and what they would say to that those type of things? Because I think that would be quite interesting, because then you could tell, hopefully, if they're, pulling your leg or not. I'll say it that way because I'm trying to be like PG-13.
I think that would be amazing. I think that's basically, I think I'd wound up doing one of their surveys. I think they sent the Summit survey out like before they announced anything, and I'm pretty sure I did that one live. And I think I basically, those were kind of some of the things in their fill in the blank questions that I wrote about. Was, yeah, like, let's, all we got to do is sit down and talk. Like, you don't have to bamboozle us. Okay, we get it. You're a for-profit company making a game that you're trying to get us to spend money in and consume with our time. And all we're saying is, let's work together to make it valuable, at least reasonably, for our time, and engage us in a way to spend some money. Like, we can be a symbiotic relationship. It doesn't have to be you're pulling one over on us. And that's a lot of times what it feels like from Kabam. Either you're pulling one over on us and, think you're so smart, or you basically then just turn around and kind of talk to us like we're done. Right? It's annoying. Like, let's just engage on a human level. Be realistic about things. Help me help you.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so we are right at the 33-minute mark, which is actually, for the record, that's one of our shortest times that we've ever had a discussion. Closing thoughts, gentlemen. I will let you take it away.
Okay, I don't mind to go first there. I mean, my closing thoughts are this. I believe 8 stars are coming to the game at some point in the future. And if this game goes for 15, 20 years, 9 stars will come as well, right? Like, there is a general progression of this game that started out where we played with where people would spend 2,500 units for a 4-star. That was part of this game at some point. I don't know if everyone that's watching now was around when people used to spend units on premium hero crystals, right? For a chance at a 4-star.
Yep.
So to believe that, that won't happen, that the next star level won't come is not realistic. The only way that it doesn't come is if they find some completely different direction to go that completely alters the state of this game and how they want to do things. But I'm not holding my breath for that. But my closing thoughts are just basically that we we love this game. We love playing this game. There's so many different game modes that engage different people on different levels for different reasons. And I'm really hoping that they can continue to monetize and do what they need to do while still making the experience fun for a large portion of the community. There's some portion of this community that really, unfortunately, I don't want to say can't enjoy this game, but really struggles to enjoy this game. And it's okay, but it's definitely not. There's things that they can do to try and fix that. So the 8 star conversation concerns me, but at the same time, it's a necessary one to have, and hopefully we can get there in a way that doesn't invalidate all of the work and time and money and thought that's been spent to get our rosters to where they are now. They tried to do that with 6 stars and Ascension. They tried to do that, but then it seems like as time went on, I was just like, you know what? Just come get these 7 stars. Come give us the money and get the 7 stars.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there's some way we can learn from that and do it differently. But I don't know. I'm hopeful.
Okay. True.
Yeah, I mean, I yapped a lot. I already said a lot of the things that are on my heart and mind when it comes to this kind of thing and my confidence level. But yeah, I guess my final thoughts would be, in my opinion, that 8 stars are probably coming to the game sooner than most people think. And there are serious concerns that I hope that we can work together to mitigate when it comes to the longevity and how many people do ultimately walk away when the inevitable road we're on comes to fruition.
Well said, gentlemen. Well said. All right, my closing thoughts. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for the record, I do believe 8 stars are coming sooner than later. And again, to cover that time gap, about roughly 2 years out, 2027 marker. I wouldn't be surprised, and we've stated why. But you guys are just gonna have to understand that this is a business at the end of the day, and they're gonna do what's best for the company. So if you guys, I challenge you, if you guys have a alternate way of doing business to where you think that they should listen to you guys, drop it in the comments below, because I'd love to hear from you guys. Again, please be respectful, because we are very respectful to you guys. And if you guys are not respectful, I will have to ignore the comments, because we don't like that type of energy. But we do like production, and we do like ideas and stuff like that. So if you guys have any, let us know. What are your thoughts on this video? And I did confirm it with the guys. We are going to have a different type of a conversation coming up in the near future. And it's going to be on my podcast. So look out for that. If you're not familiar with the Jason and Jabari podcast, you definitely want to check it out, because we are going to have a very different type of discussion. And that's all I'm going to say for now. But thank you very much, AFO. Thank you very much, Truth, for your time and your opinions. They are greatly appreciated.
Yes, sir. It's been fun.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So that's going to conclude for this discussion. So I will be looking forward to you guys' thoughts, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.